So it was a long day at the karate school today. First thing, getting up, teaching a self-defense fitness class. I had to be at the school at like 7:30 this morning. And then after that, I get a 3 and 4-year-old class that I teach. I actually love teaching those guys, those little kids. Pretty awesome, because if you can teach little kids, 3 and 4 years old, and keep their focus and their attention for 30 minutes straight is what we do. It's pretty awesome, and what a great head start for them at such a young age. You know, the structure and listening to the life skills, and at the same time having fun and telling their bodies how to control themselves and things like that. So it's really awesome. And you know what? Whenever I'm teaching new instructors, I always take them through the Tiny Champs, the 3 and 4-year-old class first, because if you can teach a 3 and 4-year-old to focus for 30 minutes, imagine what you can do with an adult. But it's the same thing. So it's kind of a great lead-in for today on a couple notes. After that, got to leave for a couple hours, and I had to go back, and then we had to test some students for black belt. So it's been a long day. So 2 good lessons there. One is about, even when it's a long day, even when you got a lot of other stuff going on, I promised I was going to shoot these videos every day leading up to our launch at least. And hopefully share a lot of inspiring types of things with people that want to set out and achieve some goals that they thought until now were impossible. It's not easy. It's not easy for anybody. Although some people make it look easy, it's never easy. The overnight successes, you just see the last night. It's years, usually years of hard work and dedication and commitment and doing things like this. You just learn. You learn that, if you want to achieve something great, you gotta make a commitment to it. You gotta set those decisions and cut off all other options. And what happens is after you do it for about a month, and that's why I promised myself 1 month of these first, because once you get past a month, and they say that it takes a month to create a habit, and habits are what basically drive our actions all day long. At least probably about 60-70% of what we do throughout the day is by habit. It's an automatic feature that we're built with to help us not think as much. No different than driving home after work. It's like before you know it, you're pulling in your driveway, you don't even remember driving home. It's automatic, so that can work for you, of course, and it can also work against you if it's a bad habit. But either way, I call it breaking the chain. You read some good books on that, Atomic Habits. There's a couple of good books on creating habits. But yeah, breaking the chain. Once you get about 30 days into something and you're doing it every day, it helps push you. It helps self-motivate you to keep going, even when it's a long day like today is for me. I got done doing this black belt test, and there's a lot of physical, a lot of mental, with doing this testing, and I got out and I'm like, oh, I got to shoot that video today. So if this is new to you as well, just know that you have company and you got to push through it. And that's how great goals are achieved. Little goals, little rewards. Big goals, big rewards. I was talking to one of the students after the test today, and they had some pretty physical stuff they had to do, and it's like they're nervous, they're scared before it happens. And that's not a bad thing, as long as you realize that there's a good nervousness. That means that you want to perform well, you want to do well, and you care. If you didn't care, if you're indifferent and you're like, whatever, I'll just give my best shot, you're probably not going to perform at the highest levels. But if you care, you're going to want to perform well, and you're a little nervous and not performing well. But it should be more for yourself versus other people. When you're worried about what other people are going to think, and you're going to let down other people, that becomes unhealthy. And I don't think anything good ever comes out of that. But when you don't want to let yourself down, that's intrinsic, and that's what should drive you to not let yourself down. And how do you get over that? Just preparation and building that routine. Building a routine. One thing I learned a lot of setting some longer term goals that seemed impossible at the time was not only rewarding yourself, like I talked about in a previous video, little short term rewards that kind of give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody can give you high fives. Your boss can say thumbs up. Wow, you did a great job, and praise you and all of that. That's all external motivation. Most importantly, you should pat yourself on the back and think about, wow, I feel good. I stepped it up. I sacrificed to get to where I am right now, and I deserve a pat on my own back. And you'll always be there to pat yourself on the back. So don't be afraid to do that. But after a long day, here I am sitting here doing this video, but it drives me because now I'm being held accountable. And I've had people say, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna watch your videos. I'm gonna hold you accountable. But it's even better if you take this and say, you know what, it's time I hold myself accountable. I want everybody to achieve awesome stuff. You only live once. And and I just meet most people, they just kind of settle in life. They get in their groove, they get their job, got their family, what have you, and and that's it. They just kind of do the same thing year after year. They go on vacation once, twice a year, and they do the same thing year after year. I mean, I know everyone's built differently, but I mean, there's no, what could be better than achieving something you thought was impossible and then saying, whoa, I did that. Because that's what's going to motivate you to set bigger and better goals. But you're going to have to build that up inside. It's just like going to the gym. You start at a certain weight that is doable. It's not too much, it's not too little, but it's enough where you're going to do it and it doesn't scare you away from going back the next day. A lot of people, when they start at a gym, they just go all out, balls to the wall, so to speak, and they get so sore, and then when it's time to go back, they're half of them don't even go back because they overdid it the first time. You got to kind of lean into it, and then you can add weight as you start plateauing, and you need growth. You got to challenge yourself. You got to get uncomfortable, and with weights, that means a little bit more harder work. They don't call it having fun out. It's working out. But when you leave the gym, how do you feel? You feel like, wow, I did it. I got my butt up, off the couch or whatever. I made the time. I didn't come up with some excuse like, I don't have time to work out. What is it? One of those old sayings. And when you read a lot, you're going to get so many quotes and sayings and stuff. But if you don't have time to work out now, you're going to make time to be sick later. And so it's kind of a cool thing to remember. And once again, those quotes and those sayings, they were made for a reason. And I think those are shortcuts that we can develop for ourselves, and almost like an affirmation inside our head. So here we are. This is day 5, looking towards a 90-day from now launch, or I should say 85 days now from launch. Something like, right? And, really getting excited, but thinking of new ways and what ways I can do to get traction, more and more traction. I was talking to some business owners today, just in case you were wondering, how am I getting one step closer to this launch and launching this platform that's going to help thousands of people, if not more, find the jobs and the companies that are just going to really change their life in terms of not just growth and development in their career, but just the surrounding and how that, and the support and the growth and development they're going to receive at work, because they're working for a company that has a great culture that cares about them. And the bottom line is, the more you care about your employees, the more they're going to care about the customers. And then obviously that's why companies are in business. You got to make money in order to stay in business. But it's always good to make the money doing something good and at the top level. And in some future videos, I'll definitely share some of my experiences as I go into different stores, whether it's restaurants or just regular stores or what have you, and I experience customer service. And every day, I'm the first one. If somebody's got great customer service, even at a younger age, everyone thinks, oh, teenagers, you're only going to get mediocre service. That's not true. It starts with the attitude, the character of the person. And then when you add proper training and expectations and values and what the company stands for, you're going to get good service. And then I'll go back. I'll even pay extra to go to the places that offer the better service. Because, really for me, that's important. And I love seeing it because I see so much that's not so great. But anyways, I was talking to some business owners today, and talking about the workshop we just did a couple days ago, and the feedback's been positive, and I'm just getting really excited about doing some events in the future, not just workshops, which, by the way, I am working on some of the final touches of building some digital workshops that will be available online. I think so I can offer that, because a lot of people, even locally, that missed my event, they were like, when's the next one? What'd you guys do? And I just digging it. I'm digging helping empower people in a totally different way than I've done for the last 3 decades. as far as now focusing on business and empowering themselves so they can empower their clients and then therefore empower their customers and so forth. Yeah, I'm thinking of some really cool events. We're gonna do something local, like the town's coolest bosses ever, and really pull them up, pull them out of the woodwork, because two reasons. One, they're gonna be able to share, as I do some interviews as well with some of these owners and leaders, business leaders, but also so they can share some of the things that are working for them so that other people can pick up and utilize them, as well as myself. If I'm always open-minded to learning new things that are going to help me and my surrounding get better and better. Yeah, we're looking to do some really cool events, bring them out, for business leaders, bring them out of the woodwork, and then make it so it's like a trend, like I see it all the time online, people get caught in a trend, and next thing you know, it goes viral, almost like everyone's jumping on it to do it for the way it makes them feel, whether it's a challenge or it helps others or whatever. It's possible nowadays. And when I create that exposure for being the coolest boss ever type of company, almost like, this company is one of the coolest boss ever companies, where you're going to get great leadership. You're going to get people that care about you. I mean, don't you want to work for people like that? And if you are a business owner or a business leader, don't you want to be that person where your employees are coming up to you and say, look, I just got to tell you, man, I love working here. I love working with you and for you. And I love what we do. I mean, you got to want that. If you're just focused on money, I don't think it ever ends well. I don't think it ever ends well, because, it's not going to last. And once again, nowadays with the internet and everything, bad news gets around real quick. Bad service gets around real quick. You can't BS people anymore. You can't bullshit them. They'll look online. They're looking at your reviews. When you go on to some of these online merchants, I mean, what's the first thing you're looking for? Once you find the product, you're looking for reviews. Even if they're not even good, like reviews, how do you know they're real? You don't know, but you're going social proof. You're looking to see who's got the most stars or what have you, and what the comments are. And imagine if companies were held accountable more for their leadership. They're going to repel the best talent if they don't have good leadership, and they're not going to be able to attract new talent, the new good talent. Because when you got talent and you got good character and you're willing to work hard for a company because you really love what you do and why you do it, you're not going to get the good people. You can throw the money at them, you can throw the bonuses at them, you can throw all that, but they're not going to stick around. Because if they're only coming for the paycheck, and this is big, when you get into like municipal or whatever, where everyone's working for benefits or, just the benefits. I work because they're so expensive nowadays. But if someone comes along with more benefits or a higher paycheck, they're gone. And what is it costing your company to hire new people? Because once you hire them and you go through all that time and effort and money to find someone, whether it's one of those big recruiting sites and it's like a needle in a haystack kind of thing of finding talent that's going to mesh with your company. But what about who's training them? You're going to have to get people to train them. And who's going to train them? You're going to want some of your best people training them, thinking it's going to wear off onto them. If it's not the right person, if they don't align with what you're looking for and what your company stands for, it's not going to work anyways. And it's costing you a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of headaches. And if you're a small business owner, it's costing you a lot of valuable time that you could be spending with your family, your friends, and for yourself. And once again, I can relate to that totally. I can relate to small business owners that have such great intentions. They have a passion for their company, their baby that they've grown up with. They've built out of nothing and they've nurtured, they've committed, they sacrificed relationships and everything else, maybe even their health. They don't have time to work out, or they're eating junk because it's fast and convenient. Be the boss magnet, have that magnetism that attracts. When you study marketing, you come across some of the top direct marketers in the industries that talk about magnetism, being a magnet. Why you can't go looking for them all the time? Why not create something that attracts them? And some of my best team members come from my current team members because they refer them. If you suck as a boss or as a company, don't think your employees are gonna want their friends to jump in on it, But if they feel great working for you, they're gonna share that with other people. And how easier to get great people is that? You know, you're attracting them. It takes work, and most importantly, it takes awareness. It takes self-awareness. I know our Cool Boss Factor, which you can, go on our website and do it for free. Obviously, I'm just giving it away. It's a great tool to really create awareness in your leadership strengths and weaknesses. And, I keep telling people, go on there, find 𝐴coolboss.com. And right now it's a temporary site while we're building our launch, building our platform. And you can go on there and do the Cool Boss Factor quiz and see where you're at. And you can see out of the 15 most important, most impactful qualities and characteristics of a good, effective leader, you can see where you stand from 1 to 10. And it's a self-evaluation. You definitely can bullshit it. You can bullshit new employees for a little bit, and then they'll find out real fast. So what I think is great leadership is finding out, learning the psych aspect of it, emotional intelligence and how to be a good active listener, how to communicate, what to say, what you shouldn't say. And after a little bit of work, it's always clunky at the beginning. You're catching yourself, and all you got to do is if you get a little bit loud or you get a little bit disrespectful to an employee because you're under pressure, you apologize and say, look, I shouldn't have said that to you. I apologize. Good. That's a nice do-over. And then you work on those communication skills. You can do it. And the best intentions don't always lead to the best results. You got to work it. So that's what I dig about my way of teaching business leaders and owners on good leadership is to do stuff that works. I took that from the self-defense industry. I don't get caught up in all that fancy look good movie style stuff. I like watching. I love it. It's impressive in terms of what it takes to look good, because it does take a lot of hard work and stuff. But my focus is more on reality-based self-defense, which is not as pretty. It's never as pretty as what it looks like in the movies, but it's effective. And I hope I never have to use it. Like insurance, you need it, you got to have it, but you hope you never have to use it. That's the way I work with leadership. So whether it's, when you take these communication skills and these listening skills, it's going to blow you away how people will react to you. They're going to like you more. Because they're not used to that stuff. Everybody, they think they're listening, but they're only thinking about what they want to say. They're not even listening. It's like they're just trying to edge into the conversation. And I know firsthand, it's not easy. I catch myself. It's always clunky at the beginning, but how do you get better? Repetition with awareness. And if you're not self-aware, then other people, around you, whether it's a consultant or a coach or a trusted employee or a friend, they can remind you and say, hey, look, you're not listening again, or look, you got a little loud with them. But when you learn this stuff, you can use it in all aspects of your life. So that's really cool. Anyways, so yeah, I had to get this video out there, so I didn't break the chain today. I'll be around again tomorrow. I hope some of you take some of this, and I imagine a lot of you will, because even when I'm talking and consulting with people in person, that it really makes me feel good about the impact. Sometimes it surprises me, like, wow, you didn't know that? But I do realize that I do eat, shit, and breathe this stuff, to say it bluntly. And I just love it. Coming from someone, myself, I didn't start speaking until I was 3 years old, so I wasn't a good communicator. And then I had to learn how to listen better. I'm still learning how to listen better. Because the more you listen, the better you listen, the better you learn. And listeners are what people need sometimes, not just solution givers. It's like the difference between a coach and a consultant. A coach in business coaching or whatever, life coaching and everything, they know how to ask the best questions. They want you to become independent of them, not dependent on them. So, and how do you get independent? You ask the right questions so that they come up with their own answers, and then it's intrinsic. Consultants, which is what I do a lot of, we'll offer strategies, we'll offer skills you didn't know of, we'll offer the feedback and stuff, and we kind of do like a hybrid where once we teach you that's more consulting, and then we can keep reinforcing it by asking you questions so that you can come up with the answers. So, if someone has to coach you for 3 years, then they've probably been telling you a lot of stuff and not asking you a lot of stuff. That's how I feel. And that's how a lot of people feel. So anyways, we got the video in there. Take this stuff, think about it, reflect on it, and please comment below if it inspires you to do some crazy, awesome, good stuff. And ask any questions on the comments below, maybe some future topics that I can cover. I'll be there for you. You're there for me. Subscribe so you can be notified every time I come out with a video. I got a lot of cool topics that I'm going to be doing for upcoming videos, as well as some interviews as this thing expands locally for me. I'm going to go town, then I'm going to go state, and then we're going to go national, and then even bigger. So findacoolboss.com. This is the coolest boss ever movement. And all we're doing is creating awareness for business leaders. And if I can help you in any way, please let me know in the comments. Until then, I'll see you next time, and have a great rest of your day.